Hi guys and girls, so the topic of today for this design talk, it's study for your future. So I know that it might sound kind of obvious or stupid to some of you, but believe me, there are a lot of students that still have this attitude of going to school and engage themselves on the homework, and once their homework is done pretty much okay, they think that their will to be a good student is done for that day. And that's, believe me, that is the best way not to accomplish what you are supposed to do in school, to build what will be your future. And when I say that, I mean how much you put of yourself to get to your mission, to your target. You know, you set up a target and you know that you have some things that you must do really well in order to achieve important achievements and have some extra things that will bring to you to another level. When I say that, I mean that how much are we willing to put in energy, engagement, responsibility, in understanding every single class we are following, or every single course we are following in school. And this is, of course, I am referring mainly to car design, because we talk about car design, industrial design field in general. But believe me, what I'm talking about today can be applied to any type of business or discipline or course. Because what we are really looking for is to understand the difference that there is between the mass of students, those that just do the daily work more or less with a responsible attitude, and those that are few that really make the difference. And when I say they make the difference, it's because they have an extra step and they make an extra effort, and they don't do it so that the teacher will be happy. They will do it simply because they are doing it for themselves. And this is very important for me and for everybody. I mean, every responsible person with a little bit of maturity in the head knows that if you don't engage yourself for what you are studying, and if you don't do it not just with passion, because passion is very important, but if you don't do it with dedication and responsibility, you don't really get the opportunity to take advantage of that period in school, so that the knowledge that you will acquire will push you correctly and positively into the real society, into the real world, whether it's for job or it's just a society. There's a big difference when we are students and our life when we are students, and our life as adults, those that are not anymore students, and they are projected or thrown into the society, that of course is different. It's different for a lot of things, but if we come back to the topic tied to school time, it's very important that we all try to make that extra step, because when we are studying a course, we are not doing, once again, so that the teacher can say, oh, you really did well, and now you get a nice grade. It's not that. It's more about ourselves. How much did I really understand of what I was studying? How much did I really exercise trying to understand what I was studying? What value has this type of homework I'm making? And what higher value can have if I put a little bit more of effort into it. And also, if sometimes some courses seem to you not very necessary or not very important, let me tell you that you're wrong if you judge them in that way. And this is the common mistake that many students make. When I was a student, sometimes I did the same thing, because what we don't know when we are students is what will happen in our real life 5-10 years later. And then when we will arrive to that 5-10 years later, we will understand that also those classes and those courses were important and deserved more attention from us. So this video is about the meaning of studying, basically the action of studying. Okay, I know that when we were in high school, college, we had, I don't know, a course of sociology. We had to write an essay, and we had a precise request by our teachers, and we studied on books and stuff, and we did our best to make sure that those requests were accomplished. We gave the right answers to the test or to the request. But when you are into university and also the last years of college or high school, you really should not think anymore in that way, but you should try to understand how much that homework or that class or that course, it's really helping you to grow with your head, to grow with your maturity, to grow you as a human being, so as a woman or as a man, and not anymore just a simple student or a little kid that goes to school and makes her homework. So the difference is there, because believe me, this difference will affect you once you will be out of school. So I was talking to somebody recently that was saying to me, I have one teacher that is asking us certain things on our program, and then when it's our time or my time to go and discuss with the teacher in front of the class about the lesson, he asked me questions that are not really related to that lesson, but they are a little bit wider, and I get lost and I don't understand, because he asked me to learn about that lesson, and then in front of everybody he's putting me in a little difficult situation, and I don't know what to do, and therefore I cannot perform as well as I could if he had asked me just about that lesson. But guess what? In real life it's the same thing. At the job it's the same thing. We have several managers, several projects. Every manager will behave with us in a different way because it's a different person, it's a different head. And then there are people that are really just straight on the topic, and other people that like a lot to be much wider, to have an overlook on that problem, on that project, wider look, which of course is richer. So in school, sometimes we have the same situation. And to that student that told me those things about that, the teacher that was behaving like that, I told him, you are missing a great opportunity, because you are studying in a mechanical way. He gave you the homework, and you in a mechanical way concentrated yourself on the homework. But what is he asking you is exactly how, what knowledge you have of the whole subject, also according to what you already studied, and how your maturity and your head puts all those elements and notions together to come out with a nice discussion on a given topic that is not just dedicated to the little lesson on that book or on that project, but it's something that is much wider. And if you think about, when we make projects, we never start exactly on the sketching about a given project. That would be just too easy, but at the same time just too poor. We need, on any project, to start from a very wide angle, which starts from society, from trends, from studies and statistics, to understand how life trends change. And therefore, before we get into the specific topic, which is the project, we must have an overview of what's going on around us, okay, or for that typical type of market, as a key market for that project, so that we understand how we have to use our creativity to answer correctly to the project briefing. So that's what I explained to that student, and I tried to make him understand that if he's so rigid about a single thing, a single aspect, he's not doing what he is really requested to do in a college or in university, where people, of course, are treated like adults and not like little kids. You know, when you are a little kid, we have to go with simple notions. You know, the apple is green or the apple is a fruit. But when you are in university and we ask you what is an apple, you cannot answer us, the apple is green and the apple is fruit and it's good for your health. Of course, you have to study the apple in its context, in the fruit context, in the good positive things for the health, which means vitamins, I don't know, all those properties that also are nutritional properties. And then you can come little by little to how the apple is, and all varieties of apples, which are the best ones against some illness, like diabetes, for example, and which one are the best ones for certain type of cakes, and why. And then you could go for the history of certain apple cakes, like the apple pie in America or the tarte tatin in France. So as you can see, I am using the example of the apple to show you how differently you can approach a simple project. Because for me, that apple thing is like a project. So this video, which is going to be this time a short one, it's really to make you think, what can you do in order to study in a more mature way and get the best you can from the studies time at school, so that when you go out in the real society, you will be able to see life, analyze life facts and your life in a different way, in a more mature way. So don't be scared and don't be mad if in a school you have 6, 7 teachers and each one is sometimes contradictory with the other one. Because if you think only at one teacher for that course, you're making a big mistake. You have to think as a school, as a course, full course, which means all the teachers you have. The ones that you like the most and the ones you like the worst. But believe me, each one of them is ready to give you some good inputs to be a better designer or a better professional, okay? But most of all, a better human being, because that's the real mission of a school. It's not just to learn notions, but also what type of use you do of that culture that you get in school. And culture is very important, because when you are able to be very analytic in the way you take a topic and then you section that topic to make sure that you in a wider way first at the beginning, and then more in detail you analyze that subject, you will be able to give probably the best answer to solve that problematic. So once again, problem solving, you know. The problem solving in design is very important, because as I said in other videos, problem solving is the key for any design manager, but also for any designer. But you cannot solve the problem simply saying that if there is a fire, you put a little bit of water and the problem is solved, because that might not be enough. This means that to understand how to extinguish that fire, you must have a wider notion of how that fire got there, from what has been created, at which speed it goes, and how really dangerous it can be if it's not already. So this is analytics. This means you have to use your brain. You just not have to give the simplest and fastest answer, because that would be just too mediocre. It would not be good enough. It's probably not successful. And all this comes simply from studying subjects, using your head, learning, okay, whether it's on books or on sketching or in practice or by listening to your teacher or to your teachers, and then get the capacity of making the right synthesis of all those notions to understand the wide picture and not the micro picture, not the detail. The detail will come a lot later. So the final advice that I give all students, and I gave also to this student that told me about this little story, it's of course at the school, it's a great opportunity, just like with the family, but in school it's much better. It's a great opportunity to grow up, not just to study. Of course, if you go to school and you think only to make, to play with your classmates and throw stuff, and you don't care about the teacher, and you're just waiting the years to go by so that you can be out of school, you will not get anything out of school. That's normal. And when you will go out, you will not really know what you want to do of your life. It doesn't matter the field, okay, in which you would like to perform. You will not know. You will be a sort of what in America they say the undecided students, those that really don't know what they want to do with their life. But if you leave school in an intelligent way, which means notions, culture, teachers' lessons, listening, like a foam, like a sponge that you get, like a sponge, like you absorb all those notions and you let them go into your brain so that you can elaborate the whole thing. Then put that extra step, that extra energy, so that you know how to elaborate it. And you come out with a story or with a storytelling that teaches you a lot and will give you the opportunity to reason correctly, so that in every life problem that you might have, of course everybody has problems in life, so that we have good times and also bad times, once you come out of school and you will be thrown inside the society, whether it's at your job, your new job place with the new people and stuff, or whether it's not a job but also sentimental problem with your mate, with your girlfriend or boyfriend or family, you will have the capacity to elaborate reasoning, logic reasoning. And this comes out from how you studied at school, how you took advantage of the school period, how you but how you felt in a class, listening, other people reacting to the same problem, what they said and how you feel, what they think and what do you think. Are they right and you wrong, or is the opposite? There is another way to solve eventually this problem, or to give a different type of answer that maybe it's wiser, that is better. So all that exercise that you do during 4 or 5 years at school, it's extremely important. And also when you be in university, which is a different type of student life, because universities, especially in Europe, you are much more on your own than in the class, of course, because it's university. But at the same time, there you learn more how to be autonomous, so autonomy, how much by yourself and without people's help and people's confrontation all the time during the day. You can move on, give you yourself priorities and understand what you have to do first and what you have to do second and third. What is more important and less important, in order to make sure that your problem-solving strategy will be the right one. The one that will not bless people and yourself, and the one that will probably make everybody satisfied. A sort of a win-win negotiation, problem-solving management, which is very, very common in the real world, in any field. You know, whether it's economy, lawyers, you know, electronics, design, politics, whatever. At the end, it's that win-win negotiation strategy that will allow people to get along together and solve problems. To do that, once again, it all depends how you made as a treasure, you know, what you learn during your school experience. How good was it? How serious you were engaged during that school time? Of course, as I said, if you go to school, because I have my friends, my buddies, and we laugh a lot, and we don't listen to the teacher. Who cares? That won't make it. That's normal. And if you're in a private school where your parents pay a lot of money, that's even worse. Because of course it is required, your engagement, the sense of responsibility. But when we go into design field, which is a very particular, especially car design, then you cannot play at school. You have to be serious, because that's just before it's a treatment. It's very similar to what will happen to you once you will be into the real design field as a designer, as a junior designer, as a young designer. Then there it's not school, it will be different. Problems will be treated probably in a harder way. It will be very nice, but it's not school with your teachers that at the end will try to, you know, to help you out. In the real world, the help you out is kind of rare. And it's normal. Because there is also the competition between people, between designers, between in other fields there is also competition. So it's the real life, with the real problems, with the real action. It's not a movie. It's your real life. It's your life. And because it is your life, what are you ready to give extra in terms of energy, responsibility, engagement while you are in school? Would you like to be, or do you prefer to be like a sheep between all the other white sheep, or you want to be outside of that group and be someone that in society could help to make the difference? So that choice, of course, is up to you. I hope that this video was useful, and stay tuned for a next design talk. So share this video if you liked it, WhatsApp, whatever you want, on Messenger, Facebook, you know, on some groups on Facebook where they talk about design education or life advices. Okay, today we talked about this and not especially on design or car design. But the next one will be a surprise. Okay, thank you very much. Ciao, and keep following my channel. If you did not subscribe, just do it. It's good for you. Ciao.